to the RunRX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running.
Welcome back. This is Coach Caroline, and today on Tough Love Tuesday, I'm going to talk about a topic that I might have talked about before. And if I have, well, it just bears repeating. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, we need to hear things sometimes over and over again. And you'll find that what Valerie and I are teaching about, we say the same things over again, right? We talk about post, fall, pull. We talk about being light and falling and all of that sort of thing. So sometimes hearing it over and over again can help solidify it in your brain. So what I wanted to talk about is what I call mindlessness, which I don't even know if it's a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's when we say things like, I'm just going to go out to run because I need to get away from it all, right? And we put on our headset and we just go out and run. Or what I see a lot is at the gym, we just try to get the reps in. It says, I need you to do 2 sets of 10 reps of deadlifts. And you see somebody that just goes and just is literally doing the movement with no thought to what is the movement about. And that's what happens sometimes when we get into too much of a rhythm with running, too much of a, I just need to get my miles in. We disconnect from our body. We disconnect from our purpose of why we're running to begin with. And that's how we get injured, because we're not focused on why am I running? How am I running? How am I feeling? What's going on with my body? And we begin to do mindless movement. And if you know anything about movement, if you even think about just taking the trash out, right? If you're just mindlessly grabbing the trash bag and throwing it over into the trash, and just maybe out of anger or out of frustration, I forgot to take the trash out, isn't that usually when you get hurt? Isn't it when you're just haphazardly walking down the street that you fall off the curb? It's because you weren't watching where you were going. Well, the same is true for running and for any of the drills you do with us. You kind of need to be mindful. You need to be in the present moment. Now, I'm going to get a little woo with you, because at the end of the day, that's a lot of reason why most of us go running. We go running to set some time alone, to clear our thoughts, to reset our brain, to come up with new ideas. And if you're going out there with just this kind of haphazard thinking, that's what you're going to get back. You think you get back this great, I cleared my brain, it was so wonderful. Well, think about how wonderful that would be if you actually focused on your breath. How did you get that? You probably focused in on your breath. Maybe you got into a song and so you were into the rhythm of it. So taking that time, it can be sort of meditative. Now, I get it that maybe you don't want to meditate for an hour. I don't even think I could meditate for 3 minutes, much less an hour. But that mental part of running is honestly what's going to get you through your next race. That's what makes you resilient to run a marathon. That's what keeps you going when you have a blister on your foot and you are going to make the best time ever on your half, right? If you can't be mindful and get into the zone, then running is just going to be another mindless movement that you're not going to do for a lifetime, right? It's going to be something that you're just going to do right now. So how do I want you to be mindful? I want you to get rid of the headset. I want you to actually even get rid of the watch if you can do it. Maybe it's just once a week where you just go out and maybe you know your route. You know it's going to be a 6 mile or a 5 mile loop, and you check the clock before you leave, and then you go out and do it. Do your drills first, though. What am I working on in the drill? Am I working on my pull? Am I working on carrying my ears, shoulders, hips, and ankle all in a unit? Am I falling as a unit? Then you're going to go out for your run and you're going to look for that fall point, right? And you're going to fall to, say, that stop sign or that light pole. Then you're going to maybe stop and reset. Do some 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to fall again, fall to the next fall point, see how it feels. Maybe you don't have to reset. Maybe the goal is to see how far can I go and still feel the fall, still feel that kind of unweighting and moving of your feet so that it feels a little bit like a lightness and a woo, that feels so good, right? How long can you hold that feeling? And then reset. You can stop, you can do some ball of foot hops and get going again. My point is have an intention with your drills, with your movement. Be mindful of where you are, and then the running won't become a drudgery. It won't be something that you dread. It will truly become something that connects you with who you are, connects you with your mind and your body, and then you really will start enjoying your run because it will be less about, oh, I have to pull, or, you'll stop thinking about ears, shoulders, hips in line. You'll start thinking fall point. Then as you're thinking about that fall point and you're centering in on that, just like if you were meditating, suddenly you're just thinking up, up, up. Maybe that becomes your mantra. Maybe you're just breathing, but then suddenly those new thoughts, those new ideas, that new way to talk to your kid about what's going on at school will come to you. Okay, guys, have a great week.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRX podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.